So I felt really led to share this, but a lot of people, quite honestly, are not going to understand this video. A lot of people don't have the spiritual eyes to see. They're not hungry, and they haven't been in the place that a lot of us, quite frankly, and I'm talking about you guys as listeners. And I know a majority of you are in that place that I'm about to talk about because I've been there and I understand it. And I know that many of you guys have been there too. And it's the fact that a lot of us are hungry and we are spirit filled and we want to desire more than what we've already experienced or what we already know. And I don't want to say this in any arrogance or any just a way that makes people higher or look better than others. But quite frankly, it's true. And just like how Olympians or people that desire for something, they are more hungry and they want something and they're more of a go-getter to obtain that. And in the spiritual realm, it's the same thing. There are some people, a very small group of people, that are really hungry, that really desire to know the Lord, really desire to grow, to get in His presence. And I just want to share a couple of things because a lot of people, they don't see that and they are laughing. A lot of people at worst, they're still mocking, they're laughing, and they're just looking at, numerical things, when they talk about me or when they talk about certain things, but they don't see the depth behind the hunger and the desire after the Lord. And because they don't see it in that way, they're not able to relate. And there's many people, including the majority of you listeners. And I can tell because I've been there too. And many of you are in places that are far above what I can comprehend or understand in the spiritual realm. But the fact remains the same, that when you are in a place where you have been meeting the Lord, when you have been in His presence and you're seeking Him, it's like something that another person experiences, but they can't quite explain it. I don't know. War veterans come to mind, or mothers with babies, or people that have gone through a suffering, right? Some kind of disease or some kind of calamity. Maybe you lost a son or something like that. The only people that really understand these other people truly is if you have been through that. And I'm not talking about just people that go to church, people that worship the Lord on Sundays, or people that have had encounters, once in a blue moon at some retreat or a conference or something like that. But I'm talking about people that have a sustained desire for the Lord. And I even remember for a long time, even at my local community, my church, and I got to be sensitive how I say this, but there were times where I went to even my services and I could tell that I was one of the most hungriest people in the room. And I remember spending time just all day the week before and just months and years before, just seeking for more of Him, whether it's just through Bible reading, through sermons, and listening to praise songs, or just praying, just anything that would get me in His presence all the time, all day. And even as I went to service, it was just an extension of my life. It wasn't like I was getting something new. It was just an extension of my life. And I remember just some particular Sundays where I was just worshiping the Lord, and I sit in the back a lot, but I would be worshiping. I would have my hands raised and I would worship, and I just felt the presence of God, just the warmth of Him, just even spiritually, the skies opening and just Him covering me, and just that feeling of I'm pleased and I am with you and I love you. And I would look around, and spiritually, I could see that a lot of people were empty, they were dry, and there wasn't that kind of hunger the way that I had that hunger. And I was the only guy many Sundays raising my hands and just worshiping and praying. And that's not to say that people are bad and people are less. It's just that the hunger and the desire that I had, it wasn't matched, or rather I haven't seen it. And again, I'm not arguing that I could just, I know everyone's life and what they're going through. But if you are in a place where you see and you've experienced the Lord, You can tell, and I can tell too when somebody is spirit-filled. They can, give off this aura, and I know because I've been in that place. I've been in a situation where the Lord would reveal Himself to me, and in the spirit I can tell. And there's this common thing, just like how when you start meeting somebody that went through a calamity or an atrocity or something, you can tell what they went through and what they're exuding, the aura that they exude. And for many people, I don't see that. But the good news and what I'm happy about, what I'm so thankful for, is all of you guys, all of you that have been through the thick and thin, that have been hungry and have lasted this long, right? And if you don't care to listen to spiritual things, if you don't care to be in the presence of God, you're not going to last this long in being with other fellow believers, other people that want to take their spiritual life to the next level. And I can tell when I read some comments, I can tell when I hear from some of you guys, and just that aura of who I'm speaking to. And that's what encourages me, and that's what others have been encouraged by as well, because there's not many that are sold out and that desire after the Lord and have been in the same place that I have been in, and that others are continuing to be in. And again, I'm not trying to say, look, I'm better or I'm more holy or spiritual, but it's a fact. It's a fact that there's other people that desire more and desire to be thirsty, to be hungry after Him, and to want to get to a deeper level of understanding, of experience, of relationship with Him. And that's what God is doing in many of our hearts right now. He's raising up people. He's distinguishing people. He's rewarding them and lifting them up, giving them insight and knowledge, opening their eyes spiritually. And there are others that think they're in that place, but they aren't. And really what they are relying on is their past, what they've experienced before, what they've known to be a spiritual high. They're just going back to what they know, but they're really empty now. They're really not passionate. They don't have a desire in this moment. And for people that think that way, they don't know it. They're blinded by it. And that's why they think they can understand something in the spiritual, but they can't, because they haven't had that thirst and that hunger to get to that next level. And again, I have a ways to go. There's so many people that are hungrier, and they've just been there for such a long time. They've ran that race. They've been given understanding, epiphanies, enlightenment, and so many things. And I desire to be there too as time goes on. But the fact remains that for many of us, we're in that place where we're hungry. And I just want to encourage you guys, because there's a lot of us that are fighting and that have been in that secret place, and that can understand and can really empathize and be at that same level. Because if you're not, you're going to be quick to move on. You're going to be quick to brush it off and quick to rebuke or ridicule or just say things because it doesn't interest you. If being in spiritual conversation, to be in the midst of other fellow believers that desire the same things, that's not going to interest you. It's not going to light you up and give you joy like others that have been in that place do. And so it's the same. It's similar to other things, a hobby, a sport, an interest group, or something like that. There are many that are spiritually hungry, and they are spirit-filled, and they desire to be in the midst of other believers and other people that are in the same place. If you don't have that, then you're not going to understand this. You're not going to really empathize with this, because you're just going to see it as being arrogant. You're going to see it as being, somebody who just has his, nose stuck up high, and you're not going to really understand it. And for those that do understand it, you know what I'm talking about. And it hits you spiritually to the core, because God is uniting those that believe, but not just those that go to church and, say, I'm a Christian, or have these once in a lifetime time encounters, but those that have sustained, have hungered and desire to go deeper, to have more with the Lord. I just want to encourage some of you guys and just let you guys know that there are others like this. And for me, I'm encouraged. As much as people laugh, they talk about, all these different things that really don't matter. But for me, I see even just one viewer, one person who's hungry, who desires to be in the presence of God, who desires to have a deeper relationship with Jesus, to be Holy Spirit filled. And I know that a lot of us were there, and I'm encouraged by that. And God is raising more people up. He's waking more people up. He's empowering more people. And it's going to take you to places that you never thought were possible. You never thought you would have an opportunity. You never thought you would have such a moment, a reach, whatever it is that God has for you. And it begins because, like Bible says, the meek shall inherit the earth. And many other things, right? Where those that humble themselves before the Lord, that desire after him, they will see it, they will know it, they will experience it, and they will be rewarded, and they will be given things. They will be given more. To those that have the 5 talents, they will be given more, another 5, because they've been faithful, they've been diligent, and they know where they want to be and how they want to continue growing in the Lord. And so God will see that. He will reward you. And just because you have some up and downs, just because you might struggle with certain things, you might stumble here and there, as long as you're going right back to the Lord, as long as you're repenting and you're desiring to be cleansed by him, he will take you back. He will always take you back, right? And so God is there. And I just want to reaffirm, because many people, they don't see it from that perspective. They see it from what they think is their spiritual lens, but really they're not spirit-filled. They might have been in the past. And it's not to say that they're bad people or they're not Christian or they're going to hell. It's just that there are other people that are spirit-filled, that they see it from Christ's perspective in that moment because they are in the presence of God, right? And they don't, those that don't have that, they won't see it from that perspective. And so I just want to encourage a lot of you guys, because there are many that are rising up right now. There are many that have a sustained longevity to pursue the Lord. And it's not to diss other people around you. It's not to diss your community or your local church. It's not to say that you're better. It's just that that's what it is. That's how hungry, how much of a love-filled, grace-filled, mercy-filled person someone can be, because they see it being in the presence of God. And so I just want to encourage you guys with that. There are more people being raised up. There are more people that are getting awakened, being enlightened, being empowered, and being given authority and a mantle to go forth. And so God is doing a lot of good things. He's doing things in your life. And I just want to encourage you guys, because there's others like me, there's others like you that are being raised up. And so don't be discouraged. Don't look at the worldly things. Don't look at people that are naysayers. Don't look at people that are seeing it from a different angle, just seeing it in a temporary state of mind. They're seeing the results from a worldly perspective and all that stuff. But really, you're seeing it from the spiritual. So God bless you guys. I'll talk to you guys very soon.